answers now and tell me which ones you got wrong. Right, okay. Number 1, was number 1 okay for everyone? Did anyone get any bit of number 1 wrong? Be honest, right? You don't have to make a big wave in the air, simple, just a subtle gesture. Right, number 2. Have you number 2 wrong? No?
That's true.
All right. Number 2, anyone? Number 3, you want 3 done. Right, a few people want 3 done. Right, great. Okay, right. So number 3 says, find the range of the following sets of data. So it's 1.7, 2.3, 0.6, 1.7, 2.3, 0.6, 0.8, 2.1, 1.9 and 2.4. Right, what's the biggest number in that list? So the range is the biggest number, take away the smallest number. What's the biggest number in that list? 2.4, isn't it? What's the smallest number in that list? Okay, so there's 1 point and there's 0 point. So which is the smallest of the 0 point? 0.6, isn't it? So 2.4, take away 0.6 into the calculator, with that you'll get 1.8. Is that okay? Right, okay, and then part 2 says there's 6 minus 1, 0. Oh, the minus has confused you, I'd say. Minus 2, 4, minus 3, 1. So if you were to imagine them on the number line, which would be the furthest down? So imagine you were to draw those on a number line. So when you're trying to figure out which is the smallest one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'd go minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, I don't need, right, so there's a 6, there's a minus 1, there's a 0, there's a 3, there's a minus 2, there's a 4, there's a minus 3, and there's a 1. Isn't that right? They're all my numbers. Is that right? So the smallest, the biggest number, so the range is the biggest number, take away the smallest number. So what is the range? What's the biggest number? 6. And then I want to take away, what's the smallest number? Minus 3. So it's 6, take away minus 3. Does everyone see that? But 2 minuses in a row doesn't make sense. 2 minuses make a what? I'm pointing to my yellow poster. Well, it used to be yellow, it's kind of faded now. 2 minuses make a plus. So that's actually 6 plus 3, which is 9. Or if you want, because of your number line drawn, there is 9 steps between the smallest number and the biggest number, isn't there? There's 9 steps, isn't there? That's another way of doing it. Okay, is that right? Did you get 3, was it? Yeah. So it's 6, take away minus 3. Okay, so, right, is that okay? Right, number 4, anyone? Any bit of number 4? Right, 5, did you sign in late, Sienna?
Yeah.
Right, 5. Anyone? We're sure? 6. 6 was okay. Modal and mode mean the same thing, don't they? So mode, I see they use the word modal in number 6, right? Sometimes they use modal instead of mode. Tell me what mode is again. It's the number that appears most often, right? Okay. Does anyone need me to do any bit of number 6? No. Anyone? No. 7. 8. Be honest, please. 8. We're all fine. 9. Do 9. Well. Right. Okay. Number 9. So number 9. There were 7 people sleeping in a tent. The mean age. Right. Okay. So look, I'm going to put all their ages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's the 7 people in the tent. I hope it's a big tent. Right? Okay. The mean, right, was 20. And the range is 7. And then, right, whether true or false. So the oldest person was 7 years younger. So the oldest person is here, isn't it? If I put their ages in order, this would be the oldest person, wouldn't it? Would you agree? This is the oldest person. And this here is the youngest person. So the range is equal to the oldest person. The range is the biggest number, take away the smallest number, yeah? So the range is equal to the oldest person, take away the youngest person. So the first statement is the oldest person was 7 years older than the youngest. True or false? True, isn't it? Because that number there, take away that number there, is 7. That's what they told me, so that's true. So the first one is true. Okay. Part 2. The youngest person in the tent was 18 years old. So the youngest person was 18 years old. Is that possible? Is that possible? What would if the youngest person was 18, what would the oldest person be? 25, wouldn't they? Because the range was 7. Would you agree? That's possible, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to put possible, right? It's not definite, right? Okay, we really don't know what age the youngest person was, but we know the mean was 20, so that's like about the measure of centre. So they're all in around 20, aren't they? Okay, so yes, that's possible. Would you agree? Right, so part 2 is possible. Right, and part 3, every person in the tent was 20 years old, right? So 20, every single person was 20. So if you add them up and divide by 7, you do get 20. It's a range 7 though. Is the biggest number take away the smallest number 7? No, the biggest number take away the smallest number is what? 0, isn't it? The biggest number is 20, take away the smallest number is also 20. So that is impossible because they told me the oldest person take away the youngest person was 7. Is that okay? It's a bit of a weird question, but they just want to get you thinking. Okay, are we good? Right, I'm moving on. About which average to use. Okay, so I'm not going to dwell too much on this one. Okay, right, so right, okay, so which average to use? So do we use so if I gave you all a maths test and I wanted to know how's everyone doing, I want to know, if I gave you all a maths test, I want to know is the middle, is it good enough to move on, right? I'd say if the middle was about 60, I'd be good enough to move on. But if the middle was about 30%, I know I'd need to stay and do a bit more work, wouldn't I? Okay, so which average to use? That's a measure of centre. Okay, so do we use, so when I was looking at the results, would I look at the mode, the median, or the mean? Right, so tell me what the mode is again. Yeah, the number that appears most often. What's the median? The middle one. I put them in order and it's the middle one, isn't it? And what's the mean? You add them all up and divide by the number of numbers. Okay? So they're all good in their own way, right? Okay. Which one do you think is the least good? Which one? The mode is the least good one, yeah. Okay, so use the mode, right? Okay, so use the when. So the mode is the least useful one, okay? Right? As in, just bear with me a minute. If I was doing the people at a party, 3, 3, 3, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's all the people at the party. So I want to know kind of the middle. What would the mode be here? What would the mode be? The number that appears most often in the list. Which one is the mode here? 3. Is that? Do you think that's about the middle? Think most people were about 3? No, it's not about the middle at all. Sure, it's not. Most people are way older than 3, aren't they? Would you agree? Okay. So the mode is not a good measure center, but sometimes it's the only one you can get. For example, right? Use the mode. The only time the mode is useful really is when you have a list of words. So if I went around and asked you all your favourite colour, right, okay. So if I went around and asked you all, again, just write this bit, don't write the other board. I'll leave you to write that down. Right, okay. So, for example, sorry, is that down? Am I good? No. Am I good? I have a list of words. So, for example, right, okay, if I went around and asked you all your favourite colours, and someone said yellow, and someone else said pink, and someone else said pink, and someone else said blue, and then another person said red, and then there was another blue, and then there was a yellow, and then there was another blue, and finally there was another blue. Okay? Could I get the median? Can I get the median? No, because for the median you have to put them in order, don't you? But how do you put colours in order? You can't. Right? Okay? So alphabetical order doesn't count as an order. So you can't get the median. Can you get the mean? Can you add up all those colours and divide by the number of colours? No. So basically the mode is the only one you can get, can't you? What is the mode? It's the colour that appears most often in that list. What's the mode of that list? Blue. B for blue. Right? Okay? Is that alright? So that's the only time you choose to use the mode, because sometimes they don't tell you. Sometimes they tell you which one to calculate, and sometimes they'll say your choice. Okay? So the only time you would use mode is when there's a list of words. Got it? We do, miss, yeah. Just the crack is 90, lads, stop it. Right, okay, the median. Right, the median is when you put the list in order and you get the middle number. Right, okay. So I'm going to tell you, you can use the median anytime you want, right? But it's especially good for good when there are outliers. What the hell does that mean? I'll tell you in a minute. Good when there are, this is a new word, outliers. Now I'll give you, an outlier is an extreme value right, that's going to distort the mean, right? Okay, so if you just write it down, I'll explain what I mean. Right, you ready for me? Right, okay, again, you don't need to write this down, but this just is me. Right, okay, I gave you a maths test. Right, okay, and someone got 53. And then another person got 57. And another person got 61. And another person got 65. And someone else got 59. Someone else got 63. Someone else got 54. Right, okay, and then one person got 3%, okay, right, they were out, they weren't here for the chapter, that's the only reason they would have got 3%, okay, so this is an extreme value, isn't it? This is an extreme value, as in, it's off the beaten track, isn't it? It's really going to distort my figures if I got the mean. It's kind of going to bring everyone down. Because the middle of that class, look at everyone else's score, right? The middle of that class is somewhere between 50 and 60, isn't it? Would you agree? Most people got 50 or 60. So this person here is really, if you were to get the mean, you would add them all up, plus 53, plus 57, plus 61, plus 65, plus 59, plus 63, plus 54, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's 8 people in the class, right? Okay, that's 171, 176, 236, 295, 298, 358, 404, 12, 412 divided by 8 would be 5, and 1 over goes once, and right, that's the middle of the class according to the mean. Is that around the middle? That's the mean, so this is the mean, right? And if I was to do the median, right, remember for the median I have to put the list in order, starting with the smallest, so 3, then there's 53, then there's 54, then there's 57, then there's 59, 61, 63, 65, okay? Then I go 1 at the front, 1 at the end, 1 at the front, 1 at the end, 1 at the front, 1 at the end. There's 2 left in the middle, so I would add those together and divide by 2. So 57 plus 59 divided by 2 will give me 58. So, okay, one thing is telling me 51.5 is about the middle. The median is telling me 58 is about the middle. Which one is closer to the middle, do you think? If you look at the results of the class, right? Did most people get nearer to 51 or did they get nearer to 58? 58 is about the middle really, isn't it? Why is that so low? Why is the mean so low? What's thrown it off? This 3, isn't it? This 3%, would you agree? So this is an extreme value and it's making the mean not accurate.
Excuse me please, reminder to teachers, to attendance, any portal.
So it's making the mean not accurate, okay? So so that is throwing things off, isn't it? So the best measure center to use there is what? The median. Right, this here is called an outlier, right? It's different to the rest of them, right? Okay, it's different, it's way far away from the rest of the marks, yeah? Also, if I had a 99%, that would also be an outlier, wouldn't it? Right, would you agree? So an outlier is different to the rest of the marks, okay? It's like talking, I don't know what it's like talking to, but people are not making eye contact, you're not listening, right? I just, this is so frustrating, this class. because nobody nods at me, nobody screams at me that they haven't a clue what I'm talking about, right? It's so frustrating. I just can't read you. So will you please react for me? Nod, scream, I don't know, just react as if you're out there, right? It's really frustrating. Okay, so the median is the best measure of centre to use when there are outliers, okay? Because when there are outliers, it distorts the mean, okay? So you should only use the mode for a list of words. Use the median is the best one to use when there are outliers. And what's the last one I'm missing? The mean, right? And mean, you use the mean in every other occasion. So the mean is always the best one to use, except when it's a list of words and except when there are outliers. Okay? Always. Except when there is a list of words okay? So always use the mean, except when there's a list of words or when there are outliers. Outliers, extreme values, numbers that are not similar to the rest of them, okay? Right, we're going to look at a few examples and you're going to talk at me. Right, okay. Are we good? Sit down? Right, okay, so we're not going to harp on too much about this, right, but just a little bit, okay? No, actually, question one. Right, okay, so here we go up here, right? Here's a list of a teacher in charge of an outdoor pursuit centre has 10 pairs of boots, right? The sizes of the boots are 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 5, 7, 8, 8, all of them. The teacher calculates the median, the mode and the mean and the range. Which of them will tell her how spread out the boots are? So which one? The mean, the mode, the median or the range? Which one tells you how spread out things are? The one we did yesterday. The range, right? So the range tells you how spread out things are. Which of these, right, okay, don't mind that. Right, look at number 3. Here's a list of numbers. 1, 3, 3, 4, 6, 99. Right. Before I even go any further, what's the story? What's wrong with that list of numbers? Can anyone? Yes, Ashley, thank you. 99 is, what do we call 99? An outlier. 99 is an outlier. It's way away from the rest of them, isn't it? Okay. So which average best describes the set of numbers? So when there's an outlier, which is the best one to use? Median. So you would use the median there. Okay. Here, there's a list of words. Which one will I use? The mode. Right, okay. Right. Here's a list of numbers here, right down here. See this? There's no outliers there, so there isn't. Right. Which one is the best to use when there's no outliers? The mean. The mean is nearly always the best one unless there's outliers. And when do you use the mode? When there's words. Right, okay, take a 5-minute break.